All right.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Coleman?
Here.
Mr. Taylor? Mr. Zwicker? Ms. Breyer? Mr. Prince?
Here.
Mr. Person?
Here.
Ms. Palmer?
Here.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, 3 absent.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Corman.
I move the absent council members be excused.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Corman, seconded by Mr. Person, that the absent council members be excused. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Well, it's our pleasure to have a very special guest tonight. All of the people, certainly here in the council chambers, know Julia Patterson, but so will all the people on TV. They're going to see you in a moment. It's great to have you here, Julia. She insisted that she be first on the agenda because there's a Seahawk game.
No, I didn't. I did not, Mr. Mayor, but I will tell you that I have never encountered so little traffic coming to Renton. And I don't know where half the council is tonight, but it's a little suspicious.
We have our guests.
Yeah. If you want to interrupt me at any time to update us, that would be really fine with me. Well, I'm here this evening to bid you adieu, and it's just so nice to see you when I think about the fact that this will be the last time that I speak to you in this capacity as a member of the King County Council. So your meetings are televised, are they not? So
They
for
are.
those who don't know me, my name is Julia Patterson. I'm a member of the King County Council, and I represent the 5th Council District, and that includes the cities of Kent, Tukwila, SeaTac, Des Moines, Normandy Park, Burien, and Renton, parts of most of those cities, and a good chunk of the city of Renton. And like I was saying, this is the last time that I will address you as a King County Council member because I decided not to seek re-election and my term ends on December 31st. And so I wanted to let you know that I've served South King County for 24 years as an elected official. As you know, I started out in the new city council when the city of SeaTac was created, then I went to the state, and then the King County Council. And what I wanted to say to you is that tonight I want you to know how extraordinary it has been to see Renton progress during that time. Renton completely changed itself during the time that I was an elected official in South King County. It revitalized itself, it renewed itself, it became a player regionally, it became a destination where people wanted to move to live, where businesses wanted to locate. And it's just amazing because aren't I right, it hasn't always been that way.
That's right.
So things have really, really changed for the better in Renton during my time. And also Renton is now a regional, I would say, a state leader in aerospace manufacturing. And you recently, I believe, secured funding, was it from the state or the federal government?
State.
From the state government. It was a state grant, and that was for the training center at the Renton Airport. So, wow, I mean, our aerospace industry is so important to the economy and to Washington State as a whole. And again, here's an example of Renton leading the way. And it's really quite remarkable. And I think many cities look at you, envy is not the real word, but they look at you and they admire you for your successes, definitely. So I wanted to tell you this, because it's my last opportunity to say it, that while I've been an elected official, I have really done my best to serve South King County. I've worked very hard with you to make sure that the needs of our community have been addressed. And because of those efforts, I think King County has done good work in South King County in Renton. There's a couple of policy areas I really want to highlight. One is parks and trails. With your help, we now have more parks and trails in our part of the county. I'm really excited that we are soon going to have a completed Lake to Sound trail, which was just an idea that we sat down with we sat down in a room somewhere, maybe it was in Tukwila, I think, and that was about 11 years ago. And we had this idea of creating that connection that would go all through South King County. It would start out in the city of Renton on Lake Washington, travel through Tukwila, Burien, SeaTac, and Des Moines, and then connect to Puget Sound down in Des Moines. So that construction on that trail, the remaining pieces will begin in August. And that's because of the Parks levy that passed. That's a wonderful thing. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about transit and the importance of transit in South King County because of how our community is growing. And indeed, our community has grown. I read in the last 20 years, we've increased our population by 32%. And the importance of transit is just growing tremendously in South County. And I've really done my best at all levels of government to try to promote transit and transportation funding for roads and transit in South King County, because we are not a part of the region that thinks that one is better than the other. We down here in South King County realize that we need both. And so we've really worked, especially Marcy and I have worked very hard together on the Regional Transit Committee on these roads and transit-related issues. So a couple examples of that, we brought light rail to South King County, and now there's the construction of the new Tukwila Sounder Station, which will serve many Renton residents. It's right on the border between Tukwila and Renton. And I'm also very excited to talk to you about the Rapid Ride F line. It's the last one. I was always worried that because it was the last Rapid Ride line that it might not happen, but it is going to happen. And that's the line that will create a very critical east-west connection in South King County. And when service begins, there will be constant daily back and forth service between the Burien Transit Center. It'll go via SeaTac through Tukwila, and then to downtown Renton and to Boeing at the landing. And because of you, I want you to know King County hadn't thought of this, that it should go all the way to the landing. Your efforts, your voice is the reason why it will go to the landing, which makes perfect sense. And so that service is going to start very soon as well. Another policy area is public health. I was very fortunate to serve on the King County Board of Health for my entire tenure, more or less, and also to serve as its chair for 5 years. Public health is really important to South King County for a number of different reasons, and for people who don't know, public health is, unlike health care, personal health care, which is how you take care of yourself as an individual, public health are those policies that we adopt that take care of us as a population. So it's things like immunizations, tracking communicable diseases, making sure that our restaurants are inspected and clean, making sure that hazardous wastes are cleaned up in the environment. It's those things that we do as a government to keep the population as a whole healthy. So we also bring really much needed services to King County. There's a wonderful public health clinic in Renton that serves a number of your low-income population. And right now, public health is very actively enrolling many of Renton's uninsured population, helping them navigate the website so that they can be enrolled with health insurance through the Affordable Care Act, successfully enrolling maybe thousands of people. That's an effort that started in October. Another interesting topic is the topic of social equity, and it's a political term. When you use it, many people don't know what it really means. But South King County is now the most diverse part of the county, and because of that, I'm very, very proud of the work that King County has done to make sure that those principles of equity are used whenever we consider a new law in King County. So, for example, we use this lens called the Equity Impact Review to evaluate the impact, both positive and negative, of all of our laws as well as our budget on our most vulnerable population. We ask the question before we adopt those laws or that budget: how will this impact the poor? How will this impact the disabled? How will this impact those that are not as capable? And so I think that's a very important policy that King County has adopted that impacts South King County in a good way. disproportionately goodness comes to our part of the county because of that. So there are many other policy areas that I could talk about with you, but in closing, I just wanted to say that I do have a regret that I'm going to be leaving office without us having found a dedicated long-term funding source for human services. And that's been something that I've been interested in doing forever. And again, human services is a term that is generic, but it means services for people who are addicted or suffering from mental illness, or they need help with job training when they're getting out of jail, or they've been victimized by domestic violence. It's those services for people who, for whatever reason there, but for the grace of God, go I. And we haven't found that stable funding source for those services. And I will continue to advocate for that, and I'll be looking to you in the future to do that. I'm hoping that you'll help make that happen in the future as I depart. So with that, I want to say that this is, again, the last time I will talk to you as a King County Council member, but it won't be the last time that I see you all, because I'm still around, and I'm sure I'll bump into you in a number of different events. And I just want to say how lucky I've been to serve our shared constituents in the city of Renton. And Jay, I want to just call you out and say what a great pleasure it's been for my staff and I to work with you. Definitely. You have a great city manager. And then council members, thank you so much for your service to South King County. Your constituents are extremely well served by you, and you do a great job, and it's been an honor working with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. What's the score after that speech, Mayor?
You know, I don't know if anybody got the score, but while somebody's looking, what is it, Larry?
27-7
Oh, 20, that's not bad.
Okay, good.
The Seahawks just drove the ball down in the last 2 minutes and scored with just a few seconds on the half.
You can always depend on the city attorney to get on top of these things.
Thank you.
You know, Julie, I just want to say, quickly that you've been truly a valued representative for all the members of, or all the residents of King County, certainly for our community for a long time, and we really appreciate all that you've done. It's going to be hard to replace you with somebody with the same heart and soul for people that need help. And, you've really been a dedicated representative, and we wish you nothing but the best of luck in your semi-retirement.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate that.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
and I just want to echo the same thoughts. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have the F line coming in.
Yeah.
You got that in, and thank you
Darn
so
right.
much. Yeah, we tried for a ferry when that fell through. Got us a bus.
I think the bus might be better.
I
don't know.
think.
I think it-
Yeah, and I have so loved working with you, first on skateboard,
That's right.
and then RTC these last few years, and as incoming chair of skateboard, I'd love to have you stop by our final meeting.
Well, there's really good donuts. You guys
Yeah.
need to start eating more healthfully at the skateboard.
You're right. Okay, I'll see what I can do next year. But, Mayor Lewis, that'll
Yeah.
be his last meeting. He's been there. So, love to see you.
Good luck to you,
you.
Councilmember Palmer, and it's been really a pleasure working
You've
with you.
been an inspiration.
And to Councilmember Prince, who I've known for a long time, it's been a pleasure. And Councilmember Person, who was there in the beginning when I was a brand-new council member, it's been a pleasure. And to Councilmember Corman, I didn't realize that you have double the experience I have. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to add that, Julia, you've been such a voice of reason and support. Every forum that I can ever think of, just as soon as I see you there, I think, oh, Renton's going to get what we need. And then, I think that we have so many bicyclists and pedestrians in our community, runners that are going to be so excited about that trail. I think it hasn't sunk in for them what that really means, but that'll really be a legacy I was with you, I think it was a rainy day at the library when we were sort of commissioning that, but the way these things, they take a long time to plan and actually get under construction, but that's going to be wonderful, so.
You know, I was late to that press conference, and one of those cameras that you have out there on your light, it got me.
It did?
Yeah. But I got to the I got to the press conference on time.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
We appreciate the support.
Thank you for that, for
Yeah,
saying that,
yeah.
Councilmember.
No, I mean that, it'll be very popular, and I'll be eager to tell people that you were behind all that.
Thank you. Well, I bid you adieu as one elected official to another, but I will be seeing you as a friend.
Good,
So take care.
That's great. Thank you
Happy
very-
holidays to you.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Julia.
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on to a public hearing on a 6-month moratorium. Raquel, are you leading us with this, or is, oh, Angie? Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. My name is Angie Mathias, and I'm a planner here with the City of Renton in the Department of Community and Economic Development. I'm here tonight to talk to you about the moratorium that we imposed on marijuana business licenses being issued, and we're having a public hearing in that matter tonight. So our purpose tonight is council adopted a moratorium on accepting applications for medical and recreational marijuana business licenses or permits on November 18th. So state law requires that we hold a public hearing within 60 days of adopting a moratorium, and so tonight we're meeting that legal obligation and providing an opportunity for public comment in this matter. So a very brief background. There are 2 pathways for legalized marijuana in Washington state. I-692 is for medical marijuana, and there are dispensaries, which are really no longer a viable means and really not something that we should have to deal with. Collective gardens are still an active way for people to obtain marijuana if they have a medical marijuana card, but there have recently been rules suggested that would make those no longer legal. But those are not finalized, and we won't know about that until January. Recreational marijuana was passed under Initiative 502, and it created 3 permits, one for retail, one for producers, and one for processors. And the State Liquor Control Board took over sort of the development of the rules of that and issuing those licenses and such. And so they will continue to oversee that and be the main sort of group in charge of recreational marijuana. And they were a part of the group that suggested that collective gardens be discontinued as something that's allowed. So medical marijuana allows qualified patients or designated providers to grow and possess marijuana. Collective gardens, as I said earlier, are the only real legal way that there is to obtain marijuana for a medical marijuana person, but those are proposed to be eliminated. Recreational marijuana, it allows now legalized possession for people over 21 years of age and created licenses for producers, processors, and retailers. Those licenses will be issued by the Liquor Control Board, and they also developed the rules and will be enforcing those rules. So why did Renton adopt a moratorium? Because we have not determined what these new land uses most closely match in our city. When our code was developed and over time, we never anticipated that there would be a need for something called a marijuana producer, a marijuana processor, or a marijuana retailer. And so when something like that happens, we go to our use table and we say, okay, well, what's it most closely similar to? And we haven't done that yet. And so as a marijuana producer, is that agriculture? Well, we actually don't really know enough about what goes into the production of marijuana. A lot of jurisdictions have actually required that that be entirely indoors. And so although it's growing marijuana, maybe it's not an outdoor sort of agricultural use. Maybe it's more appropriately an indoor-only use. And so we haven't gone through that process yet to determine those things. We also have not considered adopting additional regulations. That is something that we have the ability to do. So if we wanted to say, so for example, the State Liquor Control Board has said that a marijuana retailer, producer, or processor cannot be within 1,000 feet of a school, a park, those sorts of things. We could impose an additional regulation that says they cannot be within 1,000 feet of a recovery center or something like that, if we wanted to do that, or within another retailer or producer or processor. Some other jurisdictions have done things like that. But ultimately, we also have not heard from the public on either one of these things. So what does the public of Renton think about what type of use these things should be called, as well as do we want additional regulations for the city of Renton? So the purpose of this moratorium for Renton is to allow us time to develop an understanding of the Liquor Control Board rules, really fully what are those rules and what are the implications of them, to study the potential impacts. So if we say, okay, a producer really should be indoors and is more like a manufacturing type use, what might those impacts be to the surrounding land uses? Also to evaluate and consider how other jurisdictions are regulating and how is that working for them. And then also ultimately to determine what is right for Renton, what makes the most sense for us. It will also stop marijuana producers, processors, and retailers from vesting businesses. So it gives us a timeout to take a breather and figure out what's best for us. It will also allow the city to adequately provide public participation. And so in this next slide under next steps, what we're doing tonight is we're giving an opportunity for the public to comment. So that's the first thing. They can comment on the proposed, on this moratorium, as well as on what they think about marijuana uses in general. The staff will develop a work program for how we're going to proceed within this 6-month window. And then we'll follow our administrative process. So we'll develop and present a proposal to our administration, then to our planning commission, to city council, and then council will ultimately decide and take action on what is going to happen. And especially with our planning commission and our council, all of that is a public process. And throughout that process, the public is invited to review the suggestions and the proposals and to comment on those things. And then as a note to stay involved in the process and where we're at with it and what's being proposed, people are encouraged to check our city website or provide their email addresses. And I'm trying to keep a track of things, and we'll let people know where we're at. And as things come up, then they can stay involved in all of that. And that's all that I have.
Thank you, Angie. Any questions from council? I think it's important for us just to mention that the moratorium is in no way an attempt to avoid or even circumvent the will of the people to be able to purchase marijuana. In fact, if my memory is correct, I think 60% of the Renton voters voted in favor of legalizing marijuana. So there's no way that we want to put up hurdles in terms of meeting the intent of that law. But as Angie's pointed out, there are a lot of unanswered questions, and now's the time for us to bring as much information to you as possible so you can decide how we will handle all of these issues. So,
Excellent.
okay, this is a public hearing. Was there anybody that wanted to address the council on marijuana?
Hello, Howard McComber. I live in the Renton Highlands. There's a lot of things about marijuana that are out there, and I have no experience to help some of those things. But I think that the idea that there's medicinal marijuana, which is different than recreational marijuana, and I think that probably when the city is considering those, they should look at medicine as medicine, and that's all. It should be I think we need to make a difference on that on all sorts of things, and that would be one to consider. I'm not a doctor, but I do know people who have cancer and other things where that might be a necessary situation from medicine. So it's a medicine point of view. I think we should be sensitive to look at those options and not to curtail people's ability to obtain medicinal marijuana. Period. My two.
Thanks.
Okay, what's the will of the council?
Move the hearing be closed.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, second by Mr. Corman, that the public hearing be closed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Angie. Moving on to another public meeting on annexations. Raquel, you have this one? Okay. Thanks again, Angie.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, the mouse is.
Evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. For the record, my name is Raquel Timmons, and I am here to facilitate the public meeting for the Trace Matthews annexation. And if I can get it to pop up. All right, tonight's meeting is actually step 2 of an 11-step process that all annexations must go through, in which the council meets with the petitioner. The remainder of the process includes council authorization of the 60% petition, as well as certification by King County, another public hearing, and then Boundary Review Board approval. Sorry, I'm having problems with the mouse. The purpose of this meeting tonight is because it's a requirement of the state in order to decide whether to accept, reject, or geographically modify the proposed annexation boundary. If council accepts the proposed annexation, they would authorize the circulation of the 60% direct petition to annex, as well as decide whether to require adoption of zoning if it's already been pre-zoned, or designate for pre-zoning. This particular annexation area is located in the Eastern Plateau area, just east of the city, east and south of the city, and is within our potential annexation area. It's approximately 4.5 acres and currently is used by one single-family residence. It's bordered to the north by the City of Renton limits, to the east by 156th Avenue Southeast, to the south by a parcel line which is near Southeast 139th Place, and to the west by 154th Avenue Southeast. And here you'll see an aerial of the site. The existing conditions for the site we looked at, and the site is relatively flat with an elevation change of approximately 15 feet. There are no streams or wetlands located on site. However, there is a stream to the south of the site, approximately 1,000 feet to the south. In terms of public services, none of the public services would change for the site. Currently, it's being served by Fire District 25. For water service, they're receiving water service by Water District 90, and they are receiving sewer service by Renton Sewer Utility. They are within the City of Renton School District. Currently, they are designated in King County in the urban residential medium designation. This has implementing zones that allow densities from 4 to 12 dwelling units per acre, and that would be gross acre. And in that designation, they are zoned R4. The Renton Comprehensive Plan currently designates this site in the residential low-density designation and is pre-zoned for R4, which would be 4 dwelling units per net acre, different from the county, and that was done through Ordinance 5254 and would become effective upon annexation. When looking at annexations, we do look to city policies in our comprehensive plan, and there are 2 that I'd like to mention tonight. Objective LU1 would be to support annexation of county areas that are in the city's PAA that can efficiently be provided with infrastructure and city services, are urban separators, or have environmental constraints. We also look to policy LU41, which is to promote annexations of areas within a residential population, or with a residential population who already have or use city services and impact city infrastructure. We also looked at Boundary Review Board objectives, which are listed here, that one, they would use physical boundaries, including but not limited to bodies of water, highways, and land contours. This annexation area has boundaries that are parcel lines and roadways. The Boundary Review Board also looks at creating or preserving logical service areas The service areas agreed to previously are unchanged. We also look to prevent abnormally irregular boundaries, and this boundary is regular. And then finally, annexation of an unincorporated area to a city that is urban in character, and Renton is an urban city. We also did a fiscal analysis of the proposed annexation. Currently, there's one dwelling unit on the site with an estimation of 3 residents. Future conditions would amount to approximately 14 additional dwelling units based on the size of the area. Estimated additional residents would be 39 additional residents. Cost increase are at about 3.3% annually, and revenue increases are at about 2.5% annually. And that's limited to sales tax, utility tax, and franchise fees. So for revenues for the operating fund, we're assuming that the existing revenues generated are at about $1,500, and 10 years from now, that would be $25,130. The cost currently would be, or are $898, and they would be $17,706. And looking at our capital enterprise funds, revenues generated would be approximately $425 currently, and in the future, $5,782, and currently cost at $181, and in the future, that would be $3,167. We did circulate internally for comments to different city departments. All departments indicated that the proposed annexation area represents a logical extension of their services. In conclusion, staff believes that this annexation area serves in the best interest and general welfare of the city, and that it represents a logical extension of our services, consistent with annexation policy and consistent with Boundary Review Board criteria. Our recommendation is that council authorize the circulation of the 60% direct petition to annex, specifying that property owners accept the city's comprehensive land use designation as well as the zoning of R4. And that's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Raquel. Any questions from council?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Kerman.
just one quick clarification. You mentioned the R4 zoning, the city would put on it as different than the R4 zoning the county would put on it, and I remember correctly, don't I, that it's slightly, ours is slightly lower density because we base it on a net acre.
Correct. We do deduct for right-of-way dedications and access easements. Not a gross density.
Okay, we have one person signed up to address the council, Marvin Betts. Please give your name and city of residence for the record. You have 5 minutes. We have a timer next to the city clerk.
Hi, I'm Marv Bettis, and I live just slightly south of this proposed annexation. I'm going to need a little help here with the map. I have no objection to the annexation per se or the development of the area, but I'm going to recommend that you not approve this annexation because of the impact to the area and the limitations that it's going to provide. The basic issue is road development. I've lived there for 35 years. Now, can I point to this at all? Oh, can I? Thank you. The annexate area is in red here, and my home is right here, so I'm just joining it at one point. 35 years ago, this was all gravel road down here, and this was dirt up here. And I had, when I put this home in, King County forced me to build a gravel road all the way down to here. All of the consequential or following developments that happen along this road, none of them are required to do anything at all on the road. So there's like 6 or 7 more homes that were put in with zero requirement to do anything because I had already established a gravel road there and they're using that. King County was supposed to maintain the road, but they haven't showed up for the last 35 years, so I'm not counting on that ever happening. And that's part of the reason why I don't want this annexation to go in. Currently, this is just a wooded area where the this is all King County Road all the way up. But it's just a wooded area on the road right away. If they build 15 or 20 homes in here, then they're gonna have, I expect that they would be required to put in their half of the road here. And access it probably from the north up here, because this is all paved road with sidewalks on this side of the road down to here. So they'd only have to do another 300 feet or so of road to get access to this side of this development. The problem is that opens up all of the traffic from the north up here, down this road, down this gravel road. And that becomes significant because this road here, 156, gets jammed up morning and night. And so this shortcut through here would be a real advantage to all the people that live up in this area, which is several hundred homes, maybe 300 or 400 homes. If they develop 14 or 20 houses, whatever it is in this area, and they don't put this road in that short distance, then I've got another problem. That problem is that, once again, instead of, they're gonna relieve the developer of the obligation to put the road in along his property line, and that's just gonna take it off of his plate and put it on ours eventually. If we ever want to develop any of our properties, we're gonna have to pay to put his road in that he abandoned. Either that or the city of Renton is going to have to put that road in. I don't know how that obligation works, but it just doesn't look like a good situation to me. There are several other objections as well. The power has to go through there to complete the power grids. The water line is currently right up to this southern boundary, and the water district is going to want to continue this through to complete their grid. At least that's what I'm told. If they do that, then they have to tear all these woods out of there and kind of, make a mess out of the area and probably provide a crude access just to get the water lines through. The sewer lines evidently are out here somewhere and would service it all from that area there. There are no sewer lines in here, and that can be another problem for us because these homes in this area right here have no sewer access, and there's no way that it's ever going to get sewer access. There's all sewer around here, all sewer around here, and it's kind of gone all the way around this 8 or 10 homes here with no hope of ever getting it in that particular area. Unless an annexation in that area starts to take a much bigger chunk of land and consider all these problems in that type of an annexation, where it's a much bigger deal.
I'm sorry, Mr. Betcher, 5 minutes is up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your comments. What's the desire of the council?
Move the hearing be closed.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Ms. Palmer, that the public meeting be closed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. So you closed it, now you get to make some action.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Person.
I move that the council authorize circulation of a 60% direct petition to annex specifying that the property owners accept the city's comprehensive planned land use designation and zoning.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Mr. Prince, that council approve the 60% direct petition. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Mr. Betts, I wanted just to mention to you that a lot of the issues that you brought up will have to be dealt with during a development permit process. So none of those things will be ignored. I think you raised plenty of issues that would have to be addressed by any developer.
Process for us to get involved.
He can get your information, and we'll certainly keep you advised. Okay? Okay, moving on to administrative report, Mr. Covington.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, council have two items tonight. First, wanted to mention that Helen Ann Botham, a City Hall lobby volunteer, has announced her retirement after more than 18 years servicing the city. Helen Ann began volunteering at City Hall on April 27th, 1995. She worked the Thursday afternoon shift, fielding phone calls and providing information to the public. In total, Helen Ann provided 4,143 and a half hours of volunteer service at the lobby desk. She also spent countless hours volunteering at Renton River Days and other local events. And, she specifically said she did not want a big celebration, and so this is the most we could do for her. So we do want to thank her for the many years of dedicated service. The second item, obviously the advent of the cold weather this week has been a concern to us, particularly for our vulnerable populations, and so the City of Renton has activated the severe weather shelter at the Harambe Church beginning tonight, and that will go through this coming Sunday, so we'll have it open all week. The Harambe Church is located at 316 South 3rd Street. Check-in and registration is at 9 p.m. each night, and then at 8 a.m. the following morning the shelter will close and everybody will have to vacate. All must register at the door, and the rules apply for the health and safety of clients, staff, and the broader community. There will be separate sleeping space for men, women, and families with children. The severe weather shelter will be operated by Catholic Community Services staff and volunteers for the Harambe Church and other volunteers from the Greater Renton community. For folks interested in assisting or feeling that they want more information on the shelter, they can call us at 425-430-6600. We've also posted this in a number of places where we know and where the homeless and vulnerable populations know they can go for information. So we're hopeful that everyone who needs the shelter will know about it and be able to use it. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to audience comment, we have one person signed up who understands the process.
Howard McComber, I live in the Renton Highlands. This has to do, I thought that Julia did a wonderful job. The thing that makes Renton so good is the fact that we have people who participate and have volunteers, and they care about the community and they help, and I think that's tremendous. The concern that I have and will continue to voice is the fact that we need to have more affordable housing so that people on the lower end of the economic scale can buy and live in Renton, and especially in our Sunset area, because we need to have people who can help volunteer. You have to have worker bees that go along to do the job, and worker bees, it's nice to have a home that they can afford and they can buy and they can live in. They can put their roots down and they can be permanent party, and it makes a very positive situation. So we're here advocating for more affordable housing, and to have it especially where we're putting in so much infrastructure, which I'm very thankful for. We have a new library that is slated to go in, which will be wonderful, and it'll be one of those meeting places. We have a wonderful school there that's just been developed, Millercrest, and we have a great playground that's going to be there. All sorts of wonderful things are going to happen, and it's going to make it a more desirable area. And I think it's important to have desirable areas for those of less affluence, the people who are more vulnerable, the people who need city services desperately. This is our perfect area. This Renton Highlands is the best kept secret, and well, not very well kept secret, but it's South Key County. It's just a wonderful thing, and we'll be looking forward, and I'll be in touch with you on furthering that along. Thank you.
Thank you, Howard. Next is the consent agenda. We have 7 items for council consideration. Are there any items that council member would like pulled for discussion?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Corman.
I move approval of the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Corman, seconded by Mr. Person, that council approve the consent agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Unfinished business, Mr. Corman.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I have a committee of the whole report to present.
Committee of the Whole Committee Report. 2014 State Legislative Priorities. The Committee of the Whole concurs with the recommendation of the administration to adopt the 2014 state legislative priorities as presented. Topics highlighted in the priorities include transportation solutions, fiscal stability, economic development, infrastructure investment, public safety, and enhancing quality of life. The committee further authorizes the administration to work with state agencies and the legislature to advance these priorities. This is signed by the council president.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I move that council concur in the committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Corman, seconded by Mr. Person, that council concur with the committee of the whole report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
And that's all, Mr. Mayor?
Okay, are you,
Oh, do I have? Oh, I think Don's presenting.
oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. Ms. Palmer.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Person.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have actually two reports. The Finance Committee report for Councilman Breyer first.
Okay, the Finance Committee report. Approval of claims and payroll vouchers. The Finance Committee approves for payment on December 2nd, 2013, claim vouchers 325,659 through 325,955, 2 wire transfers, 1 payroll run with benefits, withholding payments totaling $4,859,197.07, and payroll vouchers including 725 direct deposits and 58 payroll checks totaling $1,556,628.48. This is signed by the Vice Chair and Substitute Member.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Person.
move the council concur in the recommendation of the Finance Committee.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Mr. Prince. The council concur with the Finance Committee report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
And then we have a Committee on Committees report.
Okay, the Committee on Committee report, 2014 Council Committee assignments. And the Committee on Committees recommends the following council committee assignments for 2014. Finance Committee meets the second and fourth Mondays at 5 p.m. Terry Breyer, Chair. Marcy Palmer, Vice Chair. Ed Prince, Member. Public Safety Committee meets the first and third Mondays at 5 p.m. Randy Corman, Chair. Greg Taylor, Vice Chair. Terry Breyer, Member. Community Services Committee meets the first and third Mondays at 5:30 p.m. Greg Taylor, Chair. Randy Corman, Vice Chair. Armando Pavone, Member. Utilities Committee meets the first and third Mondays at 4:30 p.m. Armando Pavone, Chair. Ed Prince, Vice Chair. Randy Corman, Member. Planning and Development Committee, second and fourth Thursdays at 3 p.m. Ed Prince, Chair. Terry Breyer, Vice Chair. And Marcy Palmer, Member. And the Transportation Committee will meet second and fourth Thursdays at 4 p.m. Marcy Palmer, Chair. Armando Pavone, Vice Chair. And Greg Taylor, Member. This is signed by the Council President-elect, Council President Pro Tem-elect, and Randy Corman, 2013 Council President.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Person.
I move the council concur in the recommendation of the Committee on Committees.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Mr. Prince, that council concur with the committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Prince.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, moving on to resolutions and ordinances. We have one resolution and 4 ordinances.
Okay, the resolution is concerning the amended fee schedule. A resolution of the City of Renton, Washington, adopting an amended 2013-2014 City of Renton fee schedule.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Person.
I move the council adopt the resolution as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Mr. Corman, that council adopt the resolution as read. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
The first ordinance for second and final reading is regarding the 2014 property tax levy. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, establishing the property tax levy for the year 2014 for general city operational purposes in the amount of $35,520,000.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Corman.
I move adoption of the ordinance.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Corman, seconded by Mr. Person, that this ordinance be adopted as read. Requires a roll call.
Mr. Corman?
Aye.
Mr. Prince?
Aye.
Mr. Person?
Aye.
Ms. Palmer?
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
The ayes have it.
And the next ordinance is regarding the decreased water utility tax. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending Section 511.1 of Chapter 11 Utility Tax of Title 5 of City Code by decreasing the water utilities tax to 6.8%.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Corman.
I move adoption of the ordinance.
Second?
Been moved by Mr. Corman, seconded by Ms. Palmer, that this ordinance be adopted as read and requires a roll call.
Mr. Corman?
Aye.
Mr. Prince?
Aye.
Mr. Person?
Aye.
Ms. Palmer?
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
Ayes have it.
The next ordinance is regarding the amended biennial budget. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending the City of Renton fiscal years 2013-2014 biennial budget as adopted by ordinance number 5682 and thereafter amended by ordinance numbers 5686 and 5692 in the amount of $1,306,077.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Corman.
I move adoption of the ordinance.
Second?
It's been moved by Mr. Corman, seconded by Mr. Prince, that council adopt this ordinance, requires a roll call.
Mr. Corman?
Aye.
Mr. Prince?
Aye.
Mr. Person?
Aye.
Ms. Palmer?
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
The ayes have it.
And the final ordinance is regarding a deed of donation. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, accepting a deed of donation for certain real property from the Irwin Family Trust and Ronald W. Scott and Annette L. Scott.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Corman.
I move adoption of the ordinance.
Second?
Been moved by Mr. Corman, seconded by Ms. Palmer, that this ordinance be adopted as read, requires a roll call.
Mr. Corman?
Aye.
Mr. Prince?
Aye.
Mr. Person?
Aye.
Ms. Palmer?
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
The ayes have it. Thank you very much, Jason. Before moving on to new business, any update
Uh-huh.
from our city
City
attorney?
attorney, yeah.
Yes, 34-7, Mr. Mayor,
All
toward the
right.
end of the third quarter.
Thank you, Mr. Warren. Okay, moving on to important new business. Mr. Corman.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Let's see, what do I need to announce? Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm going to announce a committee of the whole meeting on December 9th, next Monday, at 5:30 p.m. And it's in the 7th floor conferencing center. 3 items on that agenda: regional issues, emerging issues in the fire department, and initial discussion of frequency of council meetings for January 6th, committee of the whole.
Okay,
And that's all, Mr. Mayor.
okay. Ms. Palmer?
Oh, yes, the Transportation Aviation Committee will meet this Thursday at 4 p.m. in the council conference room. 5 items on the agenda. First one is emerging issues in transportation. Second is a local agency certification acceptance qualification agreement with WashDOT. Third item, construction management agreement for Highlands to Boeing and Landing pedestrian connection project, Randy's project. Fourth item is professional services supplement agreement for Southwest 27th Street and Strander Boulevard extension project. And the fifth item is airport utility easement agreement with AT&T. And that's it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Person.
Did you skip Mr. Prince?
No, he's going down this way.
Or you changed the
Direction.
direction on me?
See if
I know
we're
I threw
awake.
you off.
Well, first of all, I want to announce the Finance Committee for Councilman Breyer next Monday at 4:30 p.m. There's 3 items: the Riverview Bridge project grant, the Riverview Bridge replacement project, professional services agreement is a briefing only, and public defense services contract addendum number 2. And then I just want to let everybody in the audience, hopefully there's more people watching this on TV than this.
Another
We're
day.
competing with the Seahawks, so
Well, I know I'm.
No one may be watching.
maybe the repeat.
I'm being a little Pollyanna, but I just want to say how proud I am of our city employees and our City of Renton citizens and the Renton Rotary Club. On last Thursday, I had the opportunity for the 19th year to help cook and serve a dinner at the Renton Senior Center. And every
department in the city was represented by the employees, their spouse, they had their kids there. It was just a great thing, and then a whole bunch of Rotarians and several other citizens that heard and showed up. We served 230 sit-down meals to seniors in need, and we gave them 225 takeout dinners to take home
Nice.
because there wouldn't be a warm meal at the senior center. And I walked out there so proud of Renton.
Yeah.
Because that's what this city is all about, everybody volunteering. And as I say that, I know there's 3 or 4 other Thanksgiving Day dinners for other people throughout the city, and it just shows what this city is all about. So that's my spiel.
Nice.
Okay, Mr. Prince.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. December 9th at 4 p.m., we've got a Utilities Committee meeting, our last one of the year. Last one I'll be chair of. In the council conference room, it's regarding the Renton Housing Authority Glenwood Townhomes Latecomer Agreement. And that is all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Did you want to announce?
Oh, okay. Yeah, and on behalf of Community Services Committee Chair Taylor, I'll announce that on December 9th, the Community Services Committee meeting is canceled.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Corman. Moving on to audience comment, was there anybody, any staff member would like to address the council? What's the wish of the council?
Will we adjourn?
Second.
It's been moved and second that we adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, we're adjourned.
Call area code 206-296-8016